Good morning. This is Jeff Heiser with Success and Intentional Lifestyle. I'm here for good news exclusively on TNR with Dick Baumbach. And how are you, Mr. Baumbach?
I am doing great, and it's been a great week.
And, I don't know if you're going to be able to outdo what you did last week with your headlines. Some of those stories were just, I'm still feeling all choked up on some of them inside. So let's get right into the first one here. You sent the first headlines is Friends Convert Tractor Trailer into 6 modern showers for Florida homeless. What is this all about?
This is Chris Bentley and Carlos Miller, and they're African Americans who live in the West Palm Beach area, and they decided to start a nonprofit called Live Fresh, and Fresh is feeling revitalized, encourages sustainable happiness. And what they decided is they were able to find a tractor trailer on wheels, and they supplied it with towels, toiletries, everything. And they built 6 showers in it, and they drive it around town into areas where people who are homeless are, and they say, here is your free shower so you can be cleaned up and you won't be embarrassed that you have odor. And they've been doing it since April, and the town is like, they can't believe how wonderful it's been.
That's amazing. Now, are these guys tractor trailer drivers, or is this something that they just decided, let's do this and make it happen?
No, they are now tractor trailer drivers, but they got their license to do it. But they just decided that this is something they had to do to give back to society, and they wanted to help other people.
That's amazing.
What they did.
That's and for people that don't know the West Palm Beach area, that's a pretty exclusive area. And the thing about it is there's so many homeless. And now they have this tractor trailer that they can it reminds me of who does it? Tide, I think, brings in the tractor trailer with the washing machines.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a really good story. Your next one is, did you know 100 kids from the Brazilian slums surprised with a trip to the Olympics? This has got to be a good one.
Yeah, this is a French comedian, Jerome Jarre, and a Mexican named Juan Pa Zurata. And they decided, they know each other, they decided that they wanted to do something special for 100 kids who live in the slums of Morro de Provincia, and they always had this dream of doing something for children. So they went to a facility that houses kids that are homeless, etc., and they got 100 kids, got them all together, and had them taken to the Olympics to stay the entire time to watch all the Olympics. And they just said they wanted to make these kids happy.
Wow. That reminds me of the story about the refugee team. Some of them people were homeless, and they actually competed. They don't even have countries, let alone have someplace to stay. And they competed, and that's the story reminds me of that. Now, did they stay like at the Olympic Village, or did it say where they stayed?
No, they stayed outside the Olympic Village in a nice hotel, and they got 3 meals a day. And and again, as we've seen so many times with these good news stories, the people who do it go, oh, that's not a big deal. Oh, anybody would do that.
Yeah.
That's how these people work.
Wow. Now, they weren't staying on that ship they brought in. all the NBA guys stayed on.
No.
It was crazy. We're too good to stay in the hotels. We're going to stay on a cruise ship. Oh, man. Anyways, on to the next good story. Don't get me started on that. Anyways, the next headlines you have is 3 things you can do to alleviate the back-to-school burden on homeless families. And this is, for me, this is so sad for some of these kids. They live in hotels or in their cars, and they have to go to school. I mean,
Yeah.
life is tough enough on them, and they're living in their vehicles or wherever and have to go to school. So tell us these 3 things.
Well, this had actually came up with a guy named Nick Lowinger, and Nick said that he just had always wanted to help kids that were disadvantaged, and so he founded a group that is called Souls, and it's SOLES, and it's giving souls to the homeless. Got to have souls. And so what he did is his group has now donated over 51,000 shoes to homeless children in all 50 states.
Wow.
And so for this school year, he said, okay, here are the 3 things that people can do. And these are the listeners, if they want to, they can do this. Donate gift cards to homeless shelters so homeless families can purchase clothing and school supplies.
Wow, that's something that I've never thought about. You normally give them money, but gift cards, that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, and so, but they're designed just for, getting school supplies.
Right.
And then another one is the second idea is become a mentor, a peer mentor, or a tutor. And in that case, it's if you're like a teenager, maybe you could mentor somebody who has got a very tough upbringing and say, okay, you can make if they're in school, but like you said, they're living out of their car.
Right.
And just be mentor to them. And then the third thing is donate new footwear to Gotta Have Souls. And what they do is people donate shoes to them. They're brand new, and it's like $15 a pair of shoes for a pair of sneakers, or $25 for teenage sneakers, and 100% of the donations go to the footwear program.
Wow, that's you don't hear a lot about like that, where 100% of the donation goes to or goes back to the people that absolutely need it. Normally, they keep something out of it. That's a really good thing. Let me ask you a little bit about something here, where you said about the mentorship and about people helping these people. Don't you belong to an organization that already does some of this mentoring?
I'm trying to think which one are you talking about?
Junior Achievement.
Oh yeah, Junior Achievement. We do mentoring. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I'm like organization, Junior Achievement. We try and mentor students in grammar school, middle school, and high school on how to become successful in the economy,
right?
And how to move forward. And we've had a lot of successful cases.
This story reminds me of that, and how adults like yourself and myself and others we might not have the capacities to do some of the other stuff, but we certainly can mentor. I mean, I've been in the classroom, you've been in the classrooms,
right.
and when they're in the classrooms, you don't know for sure who is who, and if you just touch everybody that's there, just think of what you're doing, and you can do that through that program, right?
Well, that's exactly right, and that's what Junior Achievement is trying to do, is to help students understand how they can be successful, and how, from an economic standpoint, they can do things, and there have been a lot of success stories because of that.
Right. So The reason I brought this up is because some people don't like to give money, and some people don't like to do the gift card stuff, but they can certainly volunteer to go be a mentor, right?
Oh, exactly. And it takes their time, but it doesn't take their monies.
Right, and it works wonders. It really does.
Yes.
Yep. So the last headlines for this week really is one of my favorites because this is like how do you say it? Like the underdog taking charge.
Yep.
Women who escaped ISIS slavery create trained battalion to fight back and rescue others. Holy smokes! You can't make this stuff up.
No, this is amazing. A bunch of women. There are 100 escaped Yazidi female slaves, and 500 more are in training. They created a military unit called the Force of the Sun Ladies to counterattack ISIS stronghold in Mosul. And these women said what they went through and what their male relatives went through, they're not going to do it. They decided they are creating their own battalion, and they are in uniform. They have been given training, and they are basically wherever war wages or women end up victims, and we are going to defend ourselves, and that's how they're doing it. And they're not messing around.
That is just crazy. I when I saw that and I started thinking I wouldn't want to go against my wife in a fight.
I'll tell you, you're right. I mean, neither would I. Wouldn't want to go against Diane. You're right. But it's so amazing.
The Israelis have had women in their military fighting right at the front for years and years, and they are some of the most fierce fighters that the world knows right now because they really are. They take it right to you. If these women can take it to the ISIS fighters, maybe we could turn this thing around.
Yep, I know. I mean, and the women are so focused and committed on doing it and making it happen.
Yeah. Well, we've come to the end of our headlines for this week. Without giving anything away, what do you have for us next week? Any ideas?
Well, there's a community that has come together to clean up a neighborhood, and that's all I'll say today.
Well, that's great, and we can't wait until next week. And once again, another fantastic week of great good news headlines heard exclusively right here on TNR, Talk Network Radio, brought to you exclusively by Dick Baumbach. What do you got to say, Dick?
I say I'm exclusive to TNR.
Well, have yourself a great week, and we look forward to the great headlines, good news headlines that you bring us every week. And until next week, have yourself a wonderful time.
Thank you. You take care.
Take care.